Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So today we're jumping into a story from the book of Acts that you've probably heard before. But what if I told you that the healing of a man at the temple gate was, way more than just a miracle? What if it was actually a divine blueprint, a strategic launch for a global movement? Let's get into it.
And really, this is the question that's at the heart of this whole thing. How does the most mundane, everyday routine, just a trip to the temple, suddenly become the flashpoint, a moment that changes, everything?
All right, so first we gotta set the scene. We need to know the time, the place, and understand a problem that pretty much everyone believed was completely permanent. So I want you to picture this. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Jerusalem. It's the hour of prayer, so the temple is buzzing with people. For the apostles Peter and John, this is just their daily routine. But being in this exact spot, a super high traffic area, at this exact time, that was about to change everything.
And right there at the gate, there's a man. And this is so important to get. He wasn't just having a rough patch. He had been lame since birth, for his entire life. He was a permanent fixture there, a face people had seen begging in that same spot for decades. His condition was a public fact, and everyone considered it absolutely incurable. And that fact makes what's about to happen totally impossible to just dismiss.
So the man does what he does every single day. He asks for money. But the answer he gets? It's not what anyone would have expected, least of all him.
And here's the pivot. The story just flips on its head. The man asks for what he knows, what he needs to survive, silver and gold. He's operating in the world of material currency. But Peter and John? They offer him something from a completely different economy, a whole different reality of power.
Peter looks right at him and makes this unbelievable declaration. And notice, he's not just offering some charity, he's commanding a healing. He completely shifts the focus away from what humans can do and puts it squarely on the divine power that's active in the name of Jesus.
So, an incredible command is given, and the result? It's immediate, it's physical, and it's just explosive.
Just look at how fast and total this is. This isn't some slow, gradual recovery. It's instantaneous. Bam! Peter pulls him up, and his feet and ankles, which had been useless for his entire life, are suddenly strong. He doesn't just stand up, he leaps. It is an explosive, complete transformation, and his reaction is just pure, uncontainable joy. He's walking, he's leaping, he's shouting praises to God as he goes into the temple right alongside the apostles. He becomes this living, breathing, moving spectacle. This was no quiet, private little affair. His joy turns him into an unstoppable witness, and it sends this wave of shock and awe through everybody in the crowd.
So you have to ask, why did this happen here, right now? Well, this incredible event was about so much more than just healing one man's legs. It was a sign. It was a catalyst that had a very specific, very strategic purpose.
See, this wasn't some random act. For the people watching, it was a direct and very public fulfillment of ancient prophecies. The prophet Isaiah had written that when the Messiah came, the lame will leap like a deer. And here, centuries later, is a man literally leaping for joy. This was a clear sign, a huge signal to everyone there that Jesus was the one they had been waiting for.
The miracle itself wasn't the end of the story. It was what some scholars call a charismatic catalyst. Okay, that's a fancy term, but think of it like this. The healing was the divine spark. It was the opening act, not the main event. It was designed to grab everyone's attention and create an audience for the message that was about to come.
So just think about how brilliant this strategy is. This one event does 3 things all at once. First, it's divine validation. It proves the apostles aren't just making things up, God's power is with them. Second, it's prophetic fulfillment, showing Jesus is the Messiah. And third, it's the ultimate tool for audience gathering. It instantly creates this captive, astonished crowd ready to hear what Peter has to say next.
And that's really why this moment is so massive in the bigger story. This healing was a bridge. It literally took the early church's mission from being this quiet, sort of behind closed doors thing and launched it, boom, right into the public square. It drew the crowd, it validated the message, and it set the stage perfectly for the sermon that came right after, setting a pattern for the church's mission from that day on.
So we're left with this picture, a totally ordinary day, a routine request for help,
and a man whose healing becomes a giant sign pointing to a message that would change the world. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? If this event was a sign with a much deeper meaning, what are the signs that we might be missing just under the surface of our own daily lives?